Hello. Yeah, I wanted to sit outside today, but I want to talk about something. I haven't really seen a ton of videos on this. Maybe I just didn't search deep enough, but I wanted to share that I actually reached out to my abuser's mother. Why would you do that? I've had to do a lot of work, and I'm still working through picking things up. Though it's a lot better now, the one thing that has been pulling at my heart was knowing that somebody else has already likely been part of this cycle. The things that I experienced, somebody else is likely already going through it. And after them, it will probably continue. And knowing that I've had this horrific experience, knowing that something is wrong, I can't not speak up. I'm not saying that everybody should. I'm not saying that something is wrong if you know and you don't say anything. The thing about it is everybody has different experiences, and you have to do really like what's safe for you. And again, like, this isn't advice. This is just me talking about my experience. It was kind of robbing me of my peace knowing that I had this experience, knowing that I knew all of these things, that I've lived this, that likely nobody knows, absolutely nobody knows in her camp. Nobody knows where she is because it's so hidden. So it's like the whole, if you see something, say something. Now, why would you tell your mom? This is an adult, of course. But maybe she'll see something, maybe she'll be able to have a conversation. I mean, I doubt it, but there's just a hope that maybe somehow, in some tiny way, she could help. She could help her. I forget to mention that the person that I reached out to, her mom was actually a licensed therapist and spoke publicly about abuse. Seemed like advocating against it. So it was kind of nerve-wracking because it kind of made it touchy, but it also felt like, okay, you understand this, maybe you can help in some kind of a way. I know it's complex because, I mean, you're a parent, how do you really get involved with your kids' relationships? But yeah. Whatever happens with it, happens with it. It's above me now. I mean, it's got really nothing to do with me. I just couldn't not say something. Knowing that people will be hurt, knowing that people will be taken advantage of, knowing that people will have to pick up pieces of their mind and question their reality and go through all of this mess. So what I did was I wrote it down in my notes on my phone. I laid everything out clearly. I made sure that I tried to use language that wasn't accusatory. I just tried to lay out, this is what happened, without going into the details. Now, I know that I said something in the, what is it called? The smear campaign video. I said not to reach out. I said that I wasn't going to reach out, something like that. I still stand by that. The thing about it is I wasn't reaching out to clarify anything on a smear campaign. I wasn't trying to go and dispel anything, trying to prove anything, whatever you think of me is what you think of me. I know it'll likely make it less believable, the things that I have to say, but it's like, I know who I am and I know what actually happened because I was there. Just notifying her of the different kinds of things that took place without going into detail, without really going too much into example. Talking about something like this, telling somebody something like this, I can imagine being incredibly difficult to receive that information, especially about your child. So I made sure to wait for a weekend day, toward the middle of the day, to actually send it. This way, if she did read it, now you don't have this big thing looming over your head. You still have to go through the work week, still have to handle even early Saturday morning errands or whatever it is. So I tried to do that when there wasn't, I guess, a whole bunch to do, maybe. Try to just be considerate of her schedule. Tried to be as gentle and respectful as I could, but also as honest as I could. I also didn't What I did was try not to make everything accusatory. It's just kind of hard because, I mean, I'm talking about how, abuse took place. But I pretty much gave examples of the different kinds of things that happened. I let her know, like, hey, like, it's not just, I didn't just make this up. I talked to therapists, I talked to mental health professionals, and unfortunately, I talked to somebody else that this happened to. Even if I didn't have the chance to talk to her, I still have my experience. And honestly, some things slipped out about prior experiences with other people. So it wasn't just me, and it wasn't just the ex before me. So yeah, I didn't really go too much into the detail about how everything happened. That, I don't know, it's like it was already a long message just listing the kinds of things that took place. And it's just like, you never know. You never know. I did leave the floor open just in case she wanted to communicate or ask any questions. And to be very honest with you, I left it just for written communication because I didn't want anything that I said to be twisted, to be turned, to be made out to be anything else. And unfortunately, I just feel like that could have happened. I feel like that absolutely could have happened. Based off of some things. But I just couldn't have this information. I couldn't know this, have this experience, and not speak up. What happens after this, there's nothing that I can do about it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I just wanted to get that out there. Like, I slept on it, I gave it time, and it just kept nagging. So yeah. Honestly, even in doing so, I made sure to take my time, and I considered every possible outcome that I could think of. I honestly, going in, I didn't really expect anything to happen. I didn't expect anything. I didn't even know if she would read it. Like, my phone number could be blocked. I did send it on Facebook messages as well, just in case, because I really wanted her to see. But yeah, it could be blocked. She could read it. She could not believe it. She could flip it on me. She could then get the daughter, like, I don't know, like, involved. They could gang up. Anything could happen. Anything can happen. It's like, I'm kind of expecting the worst. Either the worst or nothing at all. But again, like, it's just not even really too much about me. It's really out of concern. Or maybe it is somewhere. It is still about me because it was healing for me to be able to speak what happened. It was healing for me to be able to speak what happened. Now, this was some time ago. She did not respond. She did not respond. But I'm doing this video over actually because the message didn't look like it went through. It didn't look like it went through. So I just figured, okay, well, it's not going to be seen. And for some, it was still fine. Like, it still felt good because I did what I needed to do. I felt like a weight was lifted off of my chest. I felt like I did the right thing because I spoke up against something horrific that happened, something that was wrong. Not to slander, but to help. Help was the biggest thing. In the letter, I made sure to say that I was in contact with mental health professionals. Like, this was stuff that took place in session, things that I realized in session. And I say that because eventually, and I don't know the timeline, and the timeline is none of my business, it did get back to the ex. The ex reached out to the young lady that I was able to speak with to see, like, hey, like, am I bugging? Like, did this also happen with you too? And she never mentioned anything about the therapy. The ex said something along the lines of, like, making it like I just had a story to tell, like I had a lie, and said that I used the ex's story to corroborate and talk mess about her, talk about how trash of a person she is. It wasn't to talk trash talk. I was speaking about abuse. If I was going to trash talk, then I would have spoken about all of the little funky things, I don't like this, I don't like that. I think it seemed like she wanted the girl to feel bad about speaking up. She never mentioned anything about abuse. She just made it seem like I was talking mess. Even the way that she asked her about it, it was just like manipulation all around. So absolutely nothing has changed. It's like, here I am speaking, letting you know that, hey, this happened. She gets pissed and then does the same thing. So yeah, if you wanted to know if it gets better, probably not. Not unless there's help. Not unless they want that help and they're doing it themselves. So yeah, I just wanted to share my experience. Again, like, me saying that I had to speak up because I knew, that doesn't mean, that doesn't mean that I think that everybody should, or that I'm judging or looking down on anybody who doesn't. People have different situations, and the reality is, you gotta do what's safe for you. I've seen the worst. Oh, he has great hair. And I just feel like there's nothing else you can do. And what are you gonna do? Try to fight me? Find something else to do. That's, yeah. So yeah, that is how and why I reached out to my abuser's family.